Members of the Rivers State Caucus in the National Assembly have strongly condemned what they described as unwarranted and inciting comments made by Senator Henry Seriake Dickson, Bayelsa West, over the recent state of emergency declared in Rivers State. Addressing journalists on Friday in Abuja, 10 lawmakers from the state expressed utter dismay over Senator Dickson's recent press briefing, in which he criticized the emergency declaration and called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to use his June 12 Democracy Day address to reinstate suspended Governor Simlaye Fubara. Rivers State is not under military rule, the caucus stated firmly. The current administrator of the state, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ebas, retired, is a retired military officer, just as Senator Dickson is a retired police corporal. Neither can be described as a serving military personnel. The lawmakers described Dickson's reference to the situation as military rule as misleading and intellectually dishonest. They argued that the emergency declaration followed a constitutional process due to its rising political instability, executive rascality, and disregard for democratic institutions, referencing the Supreme Court judgment of February 28, 2025, which stated that there was no government in Rivers State. According to the lawmakers, President Tinubu acted lawfully under Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution to restore peace and order in the state. The bold step averted a full-blown crisis. Without that timely intervention, orchestrated chaos would have crippled governance and civil life, the statement read. They also claimed that Governor Fubara had himself publicly appreciated President Tinubu for the intervention, saying, "Senator Dickson cannot be crying more than the bereaved." Furthermore, the caucus accused Dickson of fueling ethnic tension through visits to the suspended governor and held him partly responsible for Fubara's political troubles. It is extremely unfortunate that a former governor, a serving senator, and a retired police corporal, who by training should uphold law and order, will make comments capable of inciting unrest, the lawmakers said. The caucus also accused Dickson of past misconduct, alleging that as Bayelsa State Governor, he once disrupted court proceedings by leading armed men to a federal high court, calling into question his democratic credentials. With his antecedents, Senator Dickson is not qualified, grossly incompetent, and unfit to claim to protect democracy, the statement added. The caucus urged security agencies to monitor the senator's activities closely and called on Senate Committee on Ethics to investigate what they described as his unparliamentary actions in relation to the Rivers State situation. Signatories to the statement include Senator Barry Mpigi, Senator Alwed Onyeso, Senator Honorable Kingsley Chinda, Honorable Dumnamene Dekor, Honorable Solomon Bob, Honorable Felix Nweke, Honorable Kelechi Nwugu, Honorable Cyril Hart Godwin, Honorable Blessing Chigeru Amade, Honorable Victor Obuzo. I'll start with you, Frank and Awaji. What do you make of this story?
Well, for me, it's laughable and so unfortunate in our so-called democracy. Because, see, it is only in this part of the world that we always want to use politics for anything, not minding the implications on the people. Like what we had just was it last week, where because aeroplane left a senator behind, he locked the gate. He locked the gate.
Airport.
Yes, the airport gate locked, and he was not arrested. I was looking at something that happened in America, where a senator from California was arrested because of interruption. He was arrested, but he was handcuffed. A senator. But yeah, they are gods. They are untouchable. If a common man has done what he has done, that will have gone. That in short, if you see all these DSS and the FCC, Nigerian Police, Navy, Air Force, they will go to as if they want to kill a giant. Coming to this of Rivers State, it's unfortunate. They are playing the politics beyond the understanding of the common man. Because ordinarily, they are from Rivers State, which they tell us they are protecting. And in the 36 states, there is no governor in Rivers State. There is no House of Assembly or lawmakers of House of Assembly of Rivers State in Rivers State. And all we are doing is sentimental politics. That before us, there is no government of Rivers State as democratically elected government in Rivers State. And the lawmakers who will be as custodian of rule of law, and whichever way, whether there is a mistake made by the governor, who should also be a kind of mediators. They stand aloof, even foiling the crisis. So what they are doing for me is sentimental politics. I call it my own way. But ordinarily, as lawmakers from Rivers State, they can even talk to Mr. President. They can have access to Mr. President that I don't have. And say, look, sir, yes, what you have done, whichever way, even our governor said what they did was right. But in a way, the actual one is saying what happened in Rivers State was wrong. No life lost. Today was crying of Benue, crying of other states. No life lost. That day I was on the road. No life lost. Intervention by the Mr. President is not about removal of government, of governor. In other senior claims, emergency is also imposed to correct maybe some natural disaster or to solve problems. But here in Rivers State now, it's about the treasure of Rivers State.
What is the treasure? What
the money.
Okay.
Because other states, let me tell you, if you go to maybe Zamfara State now, even Benue State, all of us talking, how much is Benue generating?
Okay, you're talking of with regards to the money in Rivers State. You're talking about the oil, the
revenue,
the
federal allocation.
All right, go ahead.
So whatever we're discussing today is not about, oh, we love Rivers State people to protect them. It's not. It's a political maneuvering to capture the state treasury. And that's all of them, because as it is now, nobody gives account. You can look the other way and put the money to the, because as you're discussing now on this live television station, it is also worrisome that lawmakers from Rivers State who should stand their ground and lobby Mr. President and say, please, sir, can you just, please, we know you are right, oh, but now we are saying it's right, before even consulting the National Assembly, a position, a set of measures has been imposed. Is they do fire brigade approach to make it law. Even standing on the law or judgment of the Supreme Court. Sometimes I want to look at myself.
The Supreme Court said that there is no government.
That is what I'm saying. So if the Supreme Court said that,
with the judgment of the Supreme
Court, for me, I disagree. But it's also political. Sorry.
All right.
The judgment of the court should, in a way, streamline things.
So, in your opinion, there was government in Rivers State prior to the...
Because we have what to call, there was a governor. So if there
was there a House of Assembly that was recognized by the governor?
Yes, but according to the government of the judgment, it was wrong.
Constitutionally, you are a journalist and you understand the law.
Yeah.
Constitutionally, what is the minimum requirement for a state House of Assembly?
See, if you go to the constitution, it will baffle you to know that they say sitting.
I'm not asking of sitting. What I'm asking is the minimum requirement.
They will say two-thirds.
No, not that.
I'm coming of requirement of what?
Not that. What is the minimum number of seats that constitutes a state House of Assembly?
No, there's no minimum. Sorry.
The Constitution.
No, sorry. All the states don't have the same. So it's not a minimum.
The Constitution has, hold on, Enawaji.
Okay,
the Constitution has a stipulated minimum and a stipulated maximum.
To what?
Of number of seats that will constitute a state House of Assembly
in Rivers State,
at any given time.
There was lacuna in Rivers State. That's the problem. So if there was problem in Rivers State, the law, the judgment is supposed to give leverage to put this right.
What was the judgment of Justice Omotosho about?
No. See, if we go to the issue of Omotosho and everything, we'll be happy.
What was the appeal court judgment
Everybody
about?
is starting, let me Today we are standing on the Supreme Court judgment.
All right, go ahead.
Everything is political. All the judgment today, every issue of Rivers State has become political.
Okay.
But the issue is if you want to cite the judgment of the Supreme Court, there was a judgment Supreme Court gave present budget and recognized the Amewule. But because of the political intrigues and suspense, it has made everything so diabolical. But if all of us are starting with the Supreme Court judgment, we sort of see the sort of sentiment, sort of envy. But as a Rivers man talking to this morning, I don't believe in whatever, because all of them is about vested political interest. Not just for me and you. But ordinarily, if the court has given judgment, according to what we have heard and read, that go and present budget to Amewule. But initially, governor was having his own kangaroo assembly. That's where, as I said before.
Well, you call them kangaroo.
No, I am using my own.
Aren't you contradicting yourself when you say on one hand?
I said, I said there was a lacuna.
No, hold on. Aren't you contradicting yourself, Enamaji? When you
I have now. I have said this. Point it out.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
I agree with you.
Hold on.
I point it out.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. When you say initially that there was government in Rivers State,
there was government,
and in your opinion, the judgment of the Supreme Court was in error.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you said that the governor was, governing with a House of Assembly.
Yes.
So there was government in Rivers State.
Yes.
And, a few seconds down the line, you're now saying
you
the governor... you said the governor was ruling with a kangaroo House of Assembly.
I was saying no.
So
coming to the issue of the judgment.
If it's a kangaroo House of Assembly, genuinely, I actually thank you for standing on the truth.
I am not standing the truth.
But if it is a
on the
kangaroo House
judgment of the Supreme Court,
would you say there was government
no,
in Rivers State?
I'm trying to streamline issues. Because now the judgment has come. I said there was no government. And I recognize. Now I'm in the judgment of the Supreme Court now. I recognize the Amewule and also told the governor, go and present budget to the, which means there was a government. By ruling of the Supreme Court.
There was a government.
I said by the judgment given now, go and present budget. It's a process of forming a government now. Let me find the issues now.
The process of forming a government.
In Rivers State, because if the governor has presented the budget, all these imbecile we are saying politically shouldn't have come.
Are you aware that the budget that was instructed to be presented, its lifespan has expired, and monies from that budget has been, expended, has been expended without appropriation. And we are still talking of the 2024 budget. Meanwhile, the governor had gone ahead to also present the 2025 budget. Now, initially, 2024 budget, the crisis was presentation to 4-man assembly. And the governor went ahead to now present to an even lesser man.
It is not what we are discussing now, please.
No, hold on.
We are introducing.
No, we are not.
The present now in the Supreme Court judgment is what I'm saying on.
Hold on.
Yes, okay.
Supreme Court judgment you're standing on. You're
Yes.
standing with one leg because you're saying that you're faulting the Supreme Court judgment.
That.
And at the same time, you are saying that the National Assembly Caucus, their statements, taking a swipe at Seriake Dickson,
Yes.
Senator Dickson, was in error, and it's a sad one.
If they love Rivers State.
And according to if they love Rivers State. But at the end of the day, you said that they cited Supreme Court judgment that there was no government in Rivers State.
Yes.
If there is no government, what would you call it?
No. After the Supreme Court, what we're discussing is before the Supreme Court judgment. Let me find those two. See, let me balance my discussion.
Go ahead.
See, Supreme Court gave a judgment. Governor Fubra go and present budget to now Amele led House Assembly, which has become Rivers State House Assembly by the judgment of the Supreme Court. So ordinarily, if there is no underground political gimmicks, what actually played out should have played out.
Are you aware that in the first instance,
yes,
when you said the Supreme Court's judgment said they should present budget to Amehule, which by the reason of the Supreme Court judgment was now
the House Assembly.
Hold on. Are you aware that at no point were they even removed by a court judgment in the first place?
Which court judgment?
At no point where was Martin Amehule led House of Assembly removed by any court judgment.
I didn't say.
So if that is the case,
yes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
If that is the case,
yes.
that there was no judgment in the first instance removing them,
I didn't say removing
one would say, hold on. We are saying the same thing. I'm saying it in another way. Right.
But we have to put it right. That
No,
the world
I am saying the right thing and the truth.
Which truth?
That there was no judgment prior to the Supreme Court judgment.
Yes.
Removing Martin Same, who
yes.
led House of Assembly.
Yes.
So one would expect that the governor would have acted in line with the constitutional mandate of the Rivers State House of Assembly, pending when Supreme Court says otherwise.
But no.
But in this instance, according to you, I am quoting you verbatim, that the governor was running the state with a kangaroo.
No. You don't. So I am giving you.
I will still get back to you.
No. Before you go back to my colleague. Please. Permit me.
Before I get back to you.
You are the moderator here.
Go ahead.
See, the issue is
yes.
The game they are playing. Ordinarily, that the judgment given by the Supreme Court, go and present budget. And you saw what happened, which also has led to this emergency. It's uncalled for, or was uncalled for.
The judgment was uncalled for.
Not the judgment, what is playing out now. Sorry,
what is playing
that the judgment was given by the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Go and present budget. And the gimmicks, the interplay of forces that led to whatever we are calling emergency today, was unnecessary. And again, what has emergency has been placed on Rivers State? Suspension of the governor and House Assembly. Is it that the House Assembly of Rivers State, they are happy? It's, for me as a Rivers man, not as a Nigerian now, as a Rivers man, it's a slight on Rivers people. So for me, the National Assembly from Rivers State Extraction supposed to be a kind of mediator, mediators, to see how to.
Are you aware that if the governor is brought back now, today, without proper mending offenses, he will be impeached? Are you aware of that?
Impeachment, if you wanted to go also, impeachment is also a political process. If Adimi has been impeached, and this will have known the end result of this matter.
Okay.
So it's not a matter. I'm not afraid of impeachment.
All right,
I've seen impeachment done even in America, even anywhere in the world. Why is our own trying to be like the hand of a monkey in the soup?
All right.
Let's try to do the right thing.
Frank,
let's fight for Rivers people.
We'll definitely get back to you. We are still starting this conversation. Ifeanyi, what is your take? Ifeanyi, your position, your body language when Frank was speaking has me. I'm actually very curious as to what. It's like you have a lot to say, but then go ahead. You have the floor.
You see, Laurentia, in as much as I also want to align with Frank by saying that the state of emergency to us is not very clear because of the way the position the Mr. President took, but it will not remove the intervention that Mr. President also have the prerogative to do because of the clauses and the openings he has found in section 305. But I also want to disagree with Frank, because if you say there is no, maybe there is killing in Benue and other places and no state of emergency or the governor being removed, there are two clear different issues here. In Rivers State, the arms of government are in war, in conflict, which will definitely affect the running of government. We saw governance being stifled in Rivers State. Let's not, miss or begin to paint it as if nothing was happening in Rivers State. If the Mr. President had not intervened, I don't know where we would have been now, because there were clearly threats and, all these banter going on in Rivers State. And even till today, even when the state of emergency was declared, people were still for and against. So everybody is in their own right. But did Mr. President do the right thing? Yes. Because if a state is being invaded, or a state is in crisis, like it is in Benue State now, the government, the House of Assembly and the governor will join hands in, interfacing with the federal government to find a lasting solution. But what happened in Rivers State is a political crisis by the two arms of government that are key to the day-to-day running of the affairs of the state, which will affect the people even more than even when war is coming. How will they synergize in tabling the matter to the federal government and finding a lasting solution to that. So it was even deeper than what people are saying, that we are not in crisis, how many people are dying, but governance were stifled, no progress made, people were sharply divided in Rivers State. That one is very clear. So Mr. President's intervention was well within his right and saved us a lot of things in Rivers State. That is why I support, hence the two warring factions could not come together. You remember when Mr. Governor, just like you were telling Frank about the judgment of the Supreme Court, if no court from the lower court to the upper court that clearly removed Martin Samuel and his brothers, why would the governor come and say that he left them floating, that he was the person that gave them life? He shouldn't have made that statement, because no court of competent jurisdiction has even pronounced now for them to go on appeal. You say, okay, I'm not dealing with you based on this particular court judgment. It never happened in Rivers State. Then the governor now chose how to deal with an elected body as himself. Then coming to what Seriake has said, Seriake Dickson seems to me as a man who sings from both sides of the mouth. Laurentia, I remember that during the heightening of this crisis, he came and visited Mr. Governor, suspended Governor Senator Henry and said that, remember the human instrument, the human mechanism that you wrote to power. Whom was he referring to? Those people that Frank is now saying that they should have been mediating are the people that came together and supported the governor to emerge. They are the people in the Nyesom Wike's camp. They are all PDP people. And I have said it oftentimes that if that contest of the PDP primaries was left open and all the big weights, all the traditional politicians we know in Rivers State are left to contest with Fubara, I don't know the vote Fubara would have gotten, because he is not even in the names that we hear during political circle and seasons in Rivers State. But somebody brought him, made him for other people to support him against their own will, because most of these men supported Fubara against their own will, because he has not been somebody they interface with in order for them to have political discussion on what they can get from him. It was Nyesom Wike that interfaced to them. This is what you get. We know how those things are shared before they go to the electionary front. At the end of the day, you now jettisoned all those people that put in those efforts, and you want to, push them away. And you are not looking on to them again to come and be mediating. Mediating for what? Somebody will ask, why would they be mediating for you to still be in that position to now deny them even the recognition due to them? Nobody does that. This is politics. And once you lose that trust in politics, it is very difficult for you to bring it back. Seriake Dickson came here and told the governor, because I have said it on this table of truth, that nobody brings the honor upon himself. It is through the instrumentality of a human person that God makes you whatever you think that it is God that has positioned you. God will not come down from heaven and make you a governor of Rivers State. It is through the instrumentality of the people that are ready to work with you. After working with you, I have also mentioned here that if not for the SSG, I've forgotten his name now, then the chief of staff of the governor now, who was the leader of the house then, Edison here, Sokari Goodboy, Oko Jumbo, and the other person, that are the people that I know their name are reverberating among the Nyesom Wike people's camp that brought in Fubara. Fubara is only left with 5 people that we are going under the rain and sun campaigning for him. Any other person in that his group now, I don't know the function they played in making Fubara the governor of Rivers State. So this same Seriake Dickson that is talking now was also the same person that came to tell Fubara that when the time comes, we are with you. Is he not the same person? He told the governor, remember the mechanism, the human mechanism that brought you to power. He was also the person who said that when it is time, when they started threatening that if any court gives withholds the allocation of Rivers State, this will happen. The heavens will let loose. He was the son that Fubara, don't worry, we are with you. When the time comes, we will tell them that we are with you. Is he not the same person? What I see him playing is that they have relegated Jonathan to the background. Jonathan has no voice in South-South politics now. He cannot galvanize support that can win him in local government election, even in his state. Take it to the bank. I know how this same Seriake Dickson denigrated and wanted to maneuver Jonathan and say that he is the lion in Niger Delta and South-South. Glory be to him, or good luck to him. Pa Edwin Clark is no more. He wants to become the face of Niger Delta, the voice. He is repositioning himself. He's using Fubara to ride himself into popularity. But I'm so happy the words they used against him, that reminding Nigerians that they always ask, how did Nyesom Wike rose to power? He himself retired as a corporal. Nyesom Wike is a life venture. He went to school, graduated as a lawyer, and became a life venture.
Are you saying that a police corporal is illiterate?
No, what I'm saying, I'm not saying that he did it, but I'm saying from the background where he's coming from, of what we know in Nigeria. So this honorable men from Rivers State now.
Saying that to denigrate.
No. This is politics.
Hold on. That statement was not to denigrate Seriake Dickson, Senator Dickson. It was to make a point that he is retired from service, just like Abbas is also retired from service. If Abbas was in active service, one would say it's a military
regime.
Just like Seriake Dickson was alluding Rivers State's emergency rule to be. And you are saying it is not a military rule, but an emergency rule. The sole administrator is not a retired, a serving military personnel, rather a retired one, just like Seriake Dickson is a retired
Laurentia,
so it wasn't meant to
this is politics, and I know how Nigerian politicians play with words. At least this English language, I studied it in the UK, so I know how words are being used.
You're saying in the context
that is being used, this man, whatever his worth has been put down in the Nigerian space. For those that understand the English language, I'm just making this is the fact. But where I want to blame him now, I want to blame him for now becoming a spokesperson for Rivers State and similar.
Because we are failed in Rivers State.
Is that he had the ample opportunity to have mediated as a leader in South-South, that he is putting himself into the position now. And when he visited Fubara on 2 occasions that we know came public, did he visit Nyesom Wike to interface and then begin to build what he's blaming Mr. President and the people and the elders from Rivers State? So he has to take the larger chunk of the blame to have failed. Like I've been calling them out, those people who parade themselves as elders and allies and political allies in Niger Delta and South-South, how they have failed to call their 2 sons together and mediate. And at the end of the day, they are blaming. It happened in Lagos. We saw what happened. It has happened in other states. If it happened in the north, you see people that will call those 2 people and they think you saw what happened during the PDP primary. How Tombowa, that is a friend to Wike, at the end of the day, he has to listen to his elders. And what happened? Politics played out. And that is what we are lacking in South-South and South-East.
You're right. Very